Nation, Sanbonan Bafetu, and welcome back to Football Trends with me, OQP. Now, on today's video, Bafetu, I do have some updates and a lot of things that have been happening. But of course, before I dive more into the details, please make sure to like the video or subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to click a bell notification so that next time when I post a new video, you get notified. So on this video, Bafetu, we're just gonna be looking at three things. Obviously, we're gonna speak about mic markups, and then also we're gonna be looking at Manqoba Mngqithi and also coach Nazruddin Nabi. Now, of course, I know a lot of people might be shocked to in corner in terms of coach Nazruddin Nabi, coach Manqoba Mngqithi, but it's something that I think we have to look at, and it's definitely important. So first things first, let us just start with mic markups. Now, normally, obviously, I wouldn't try to include mic markups on this conversation, but I think it's something that is leading to what coach Nazruddin Nabi was crying about, because Khalilu coach Nabi Bafetu and nyam understand. But let's just look at this.
They came to Durban and they won 3-1, and you can't do more than that. So yes, I think that it's happened at the right time. Oh yes, it's happened at the right time. It's also been a long time since the big three, let's call them the big three, have won their opening 2 matches. And nothing can be better for South African football than Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates on fire. It's fantastic for the PSL, fantastic for the league. I was disappointed that Le Mans Golden Arrows lost to Magesi, because they would have played 3 and won 3, and it was a disappointing result after their first 2 fantastic results. But let's focus our energies on Sundowns and Chiefs. If the Chiefs we saw in the first 30 minutes play the entire 90 minutes against Mamelodi Sundowns, Sundowns could be under pressure. If they don't, I think Chiefs could be disappointed. I've watched Sundowns play in recent games, and yes, you may say they've played in Baban Swallows. In Baban Swallows, who are they? Well, Pirates battle to beat Jwaneng Galaxy. There are no teams that win their domestic championship that are poor teams. So 8 goals against them, 4 goals against Maruma Gallants, 2 goals against SuperSport, who, by the way, came out and won with a Terence Jukumanja goal. So you've got a Mamelodi Sundowns team that is, in their last 4 games has scored 18 goals and conceded 1. But you have a Chiefs team on fire. It's going to be one heck of a game of football.
Now, Bafetu, I do agree with him when he says it is going to be one heck of a game, but there's something that Coach Nabi he cried about, and I definitely understand where he's coming from. It looks like the timing of Kaizer Chiefs facing Mamelodi Sundowns, it came a bit sooner, and I Bafetu, it has been happening many times ever since. Other clubs are changing, but when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs facing the big three, obviously I'm not gonna say the big 3, big 2, because it's Orlando Pirates and also Mamelodi Sundowns. They start when the league starts, so that is something that Coach Nabi was crying about too. The timing is not really perfect, but obviously they're gonna try and see even though Mike Markup says it's on the perfect time for this match to be played, even though Coach Nazruddin Nabi Bafetu is crying in terms of this.
If you prepare your game with a professional level, you need a time. You practice my exercise, my tactic for today. Maybe it's different. My tactic before the game of Sundowns, but I need the time. Practice, no talk. Come on, guys. No. It's a practice in the field. Now, tomorrow we will fly, inshallah, to Johannesburg after 1 day before the game. I don't have time to prepare very good tactically my team, and not possible for myself to talk before for the game for Sundowns, and we have a game with Amazulu. You understand? But no, not excuse. We will go 200%.
even though he's crying Bafethu, but you can hear Uguti he's confident Naranjani they're going to do their best. They will try and give us at least 200% of their effort in terms of the match against Mamelodi Sundowns Kusasa Bafethu. 3 p.m. It's gonna be kicking off. And then also going back to Manqoba Mngqithi Bafethu, now I did say which is something that coach Manqoba Mngqithi had to say. So it looks like he says coach Nazruddin Nabi, yes, we am uploader, but not exactly, not necessary. He's currently applauding coach Atazwane because he's the reason why, you know, those players have been scouted and those players are playing for Kaizer Chiefs and they're doing what they're doing now, which is something I think for me personally, I have to disagree and agree with him at the same time. Yes, I understand coach Atazwane was the one who recruited those boys, you know, they've played very well in this Fananalezo, he groomed them. Yes, I understand, but the last season Bafethu, it proves from the last season Uti, you can have the best players, but without the best coach, those players are corner. So that shows Uti coach Nabi has an impact on how those young players are playing. But let's just hear what coach Manqoba Mngqithi had to say.
To answer you correctly, I would not want to give this one to coach Nabi first. I would first want to give it to Atazwane, because I think Atazwane is the one who unveiled a lot of these players to us, and he gave them opportunities. It's these players that took Chiefs to the final of the Champions League, if you remember very well. And unfortunately, the change of leadership then brought them a little bit backwards. And I do believe had these players continued from that time up until now, by now they would be highly respected, because they showed very early that they had something different. But I must also say I appreciate the fact that Coach Nabi has realized that sometimes we get stuck in this thing of players having experience or not having experience. But sometimes you must just throw the players into the deep end and see what they can do. And I must say I appreciate that, more especially coming from a foreign coach, to say, let me see, let me not hear what the media and the public is saying about these players. Let me just give them an opportunity and see. And all of them are coming up nicely. I was impressed by Duba, I was impressed by Shabalala, impressed by Vilagazi, impressed by Uzwane. All these boys are doing very well. And for them to grow and become seasoned players, they must get opportunities like this. And hopefully they'll also get the same opportunities against us.
Well, that Bafethu was a coach Manqoba Mngqithi. Now also there's something that he has mentioned, you know, he has talked about Uguti. I believe Uguti, this project that we are having currently, it might help with us working together, you know. So I think he's speaking in terms of, you know, loaning out players to one another, you know, borrowing each other, the stadiums and this Fananalezo, because, you know, Mamelodi Sundowns, they think they still don't have a home ground, so they want to use our home ground for some of their matches, especially when they are playing international games. So it's something that coach did touch on, but I have one question currently for Coach Manqoba Mngqithi. If ever he's hoping we start to have that good working relationship, why did they loan out Usipombole to the other team instead of loaning Usipombole to us? Because it's not like we did not need the player, we need the player definitely, unless they offered to Kaizer Chiefs and Kaizer Chiefs rejected. But I don't think that is something that happened. I knew. This is what I had. I knew the information to Tim Lodge and also Usipombole. They are not part of the coach's plans, which is Manqoba Mngqithi. So we might see them getting released, but unfortunately we only saw Usipombole getting released and then being loaned out to Iskukune, if I'm not mistaken. And then now he's speaking about us having a relationship. Hey, Bafethu, I want to show you something. But just watch this, and then later on I will show you something with Asga Kotla. There's something that we haven't forgotten about to Coach Manqoba Mngqithi.
I think probably that is the main reason that brought me here, because I thought these collaborations are a sign of maybe new beginnings and positive mentality to try and assist one another when needs be, because we are both big teams, and there is no question about that. And the relationships amongst big teams, because big teams are trendsetters. That's why most big teams determine even the structure and the profile of their national teams in terms of how they play. And the personality and the mentality of these teams is also very important, because when we get an opportunity to come to a press conference with Kaizer Chiefs, for me that is a very good sign that they don't see us as enemies. They see us as colleagues that are in competition. And to answer your question directly, I think that will also open that door, because in the past they gave us FNB for the CAF Champions League matches, and it's a nice venue for us. We have had some very good results in that space, and I'm very hopeful that there is no animosity that would make them not to consider giving us FNB, because sometimes we've got problems with our venue at Loftus, and in the Champions League you would want a stadium like FNB, and I don't think there would be any problem in that space, because the relationships between the two teams, I think they are very good.
Godwa makhosi amahle mina lo OQB ngithi asikakhohlwa what to coach Manqoba Mngqithi said. Obviously I'm not holding grudges and I'm not looking back to history, but it's something that we have to consider and think about, because currently they've done what they've done and now bafuna isizolethu. But look at this and tell me if you remember.
I think what makes it sweeter for me is beating a collaboration. You know, when you remember during the bubble, at FNB you could not use the Chiefs change room. I mean, our countrymen could not use the change room, but this change room was open for Al Ahly now against us. And for me, winning this match was sweeter, because I felt Chiefs was being spiteful by allowing that, because we could have easily taken Al Ahly to that change room that has got a ramp on the other side, that long distance. It's our home match, but it's not our home match when they've got a change room of the home team. So that for me was very spiteful, because we had almost the same scenario last season. But we don't talk about these things, because we respect and we are patriotic. We've been in this space of the Champions League for many years now. We that wanted to train in our facility when they were coming to play.
Well, there you have it, Mbuyela Bemakaya. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section below about the relationship that Manqoba Mngqithi is talking about. Do you think it's going to be helpful and it's going to benefit us, or it's something skip and then see telling a match? Please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I believe this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Bafethu ngizonibona nje kusasa with the game, obviously.